You're driving home after a long day. Blue and red lights flash in your rearview mirror. Your heart rate spikes instantly. The first thing you think isn't even, "What did I do?" It's, "Am I in trouble?" But here's the truth. Just because the police stop you doesn't mean you've done something wrong. What matters most is knowing your rights. Welcome back to Justice Echo, where we talk about real laws, real cases, and the truths most people never hear about the justice system.
Yeah, and today's topic is one that every American should understand. What are your rights when the police stop you? Because that one moment, that 5-minute encounter can change everything. And most people don't realize how much power they actually have in that situation.
Exactly. So let's break it down like we're sitting in your car having this conversation right before those flashing lights appear. What should you do? What should you say? And most importantly, what shouldn't you say?
Right, and before we dive in, let's get something straight. Respecting the police and protecting your rights are not the same thing. You can be calm, polite, and still stand your ground. That's what smart people do.
Let's start with the big one, the right to remain silent. If an officer stops you and starts asking questions, where you're coming from, what you're doing, who you're with, you do not have to answer those questions.
And that's protected by the Fifth Amendment. You have the absolute right to remain silent. Now, that doesn't mean you ignore the officer or act disrespectful. You can simply say, "Officer, I choose to remain silent." That's it. Clean, calm, and within your rights.
Exactly. The mistake people make is thinking silence equals guilt. It doesn't. Silence means you know your rights and you're protecting yourself, because even innocent answers can be twisted or misinterpreted later.
And here's a quick tip. Once you say you're remaining silent, stay silent. Don't fill the silence, don't try to explain. The more you talk, the more information you give. And trust me, they're trained to use it.
Now let's talk about your second major right, your right to an attorney. If things start getting serious, if you're being detained or questioned about a possible crime, you can ask for a lawyer before saying anything else.
Yep, the moment you say, "I want to speak to an attorney," the questioning should stop immediately. And you don't need to have one ready. They can't keep questioning you until you get legal help.
And here's what a lot of people don't realize. Even if you're innocent, you still need a lawyer. Innocent people talk themselves into trouble every single day just because they wanted to explain their side.
Exactly. The legal system isn't built on emotion, it's built on evidence and words. So choose your words wisely, or better yet, don't say them at all without counsel.
Now, one question we get all the time is, can police stop me for no reason? The short answer, no. They need what's called reasonable suspicion.
That means they have to believe, based on facts, not feelings, that you've committed, are committing, or are about to commit a crime. It's not just a hunch. It has to be backed by something they can clearly explain.
So, if you're ever stopped and you're not sure what's going on, you can politely ask, "Officer, am I being detained or am I free to leave?"
If they say you're free to go, just calmly walk away. If they say you're being detained, stay calm, keep your hands visible, and remember everything that's happening. Time, place, badge number if possible. Those small details can matter later if your rights are violated. Now, let's say the situation escalates and you're actually arrested. First, don't resist. Even if it feels unfair, even if you know you didn't do anything wrong, do not fight back. That turns a bad situation into a worse one.
Absolutely. Let them do their job. Once you're arrested, you have the right to know why you're being arrested and to ask for an attorney immediately. You don't have to explain yourself, argue, or justify anything.
And remember, being arrested doesn't mean being convicted. The courtroom is where you speak, not the sidewalk.
Here's something a lot of people get confused about: identification. In most states, if police legally stop you, you do need to identify yourself with your name, date of birth, and address. That's it. You're not required to tell them where you're going, who you're with, or why you're out.
Exactly. And about frisking, police can pat you down only if they have a reasonable belief that you might be armed or dangerous. That's called a Terry frisk. It's for safety, not for searching your belongings.
If that happens, do not resist. Don't argue or pull away. Just calmly say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." That statement protects you legally even if the frisk continues.
Yeah, and always keep your hands visible, movement slow, and voice calm. Safety comes first, yours and theirs.
Now let's talk about what not to do, because that's just as important.
Don't lie, don't run, and don't argue.
Lying to police can get you charged, running can get you hurt, and arguing almost always makes things worse. Be polite, say less, and focus on staying safe and calm.
And record the encounter if you can. In most states, you have the right to record public officials, including police, as long as you're not interfering with their duties. But do it openly, not secretly. Let's do a quick recap for everyone listening. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Police need reasonable suspicion to stop you. You can ask if you're free to leave. Identify yourself if required, but nothing more. Don't resist, and clearly say you don't consent to searches.
That's it. 6 simple steps that can protect your life and your freedom.
And here's the bigger message. Knowing your rights doesn't make you anti-police. It makes you informed. The law exists to protect both sides, the officer and the citizen, but only one of them usually knows the rules.
Exactly. And now you know them too.
If today's episode helped you understand your rights a little better, make sure to follow JusticeEcho, where we turn legal confusion into clarity, one topic at a time.
And if you've ever had an experience like this, being stopped or questioned by police, drop it in the comments. Your story could help someone else stay safe.